So today, Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show once again. He's been making appearances here, even though it is the offseason, more so than last offseason. And with the uncertainty right now of Aaron Rodgers' future, I think many people are tuning in to sort of see if he gives any hint or insight into what he's thinking, when he's going to make his decision, what his decision is going to be. And for these past couple weeks, especially this past week, there have been so many different ideas and rumors flying around with the Raiders, Devontae trying to get Rodgers to Las Vegas, the Jets trying to make a move, at least fan bases trying to get their organizations to make a move for Rodgers, teams that, have that QB need. But I want to go over and read some different things that he had to say, a few of the biggest moments on the Pat McAfee show here today. So I have these tweets from Rob Demovsky of ESPN Packers reporter, and here's the first one. He says, Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee show on getting recruited by Raiders fans and other teams at Pebble Beach. I'm under contract with the Packers. People forget that. That gets lost in the conversation. Said he didn't realize the not going to the 49ers comment would take off. So last week at the golf tournament that Rodgers was taking, that was playing in, he was asked about, some thoughts, and he said he's not going to play for the 49ers, which caused people to say, okay, well, at least there's one team crossed off of Aaron Rodgers' list. And then apparently he was saying on this entire interview that many Raiders fans were trying to convince him to come to Las Vegas. And with Devontae there, it would make sense. They have a solid offense, but Rodgers isn't really giving any hint or insight into what his decision is going to be. He still sounds pretty undecided about even if he's going to return in 2023. And personally, I've said I think he's going to return just because when he said he believes he still can play at an MVP level. He still has that competitive itch, which is why he's been playing golf recently. And so I feel like when you add those two things up, it sounds to me like he'll be back in 2023. He is, though, someone who takes a long time to think and decide what he wants to do. And even though it makes sense for him to return, I guess there's that odd chance that he maybe says, you know what, I'm going to call it quits. I just don't know about that. Then on that idea of him potentially retiring, here is what Rob Demovsky said. Rodgers on the notion that he won't retire in the same offseason as Tom Brady. The idea that I wouldn't want to share a stage at the Hall of Fame with Tom Brady and J.J. Watt, I think, is ridiculous. So many people, when Tom Brady decided to retire this past week, said, okay, that sort of means Rodgers won't be back or will be back in 2023 because he doesn't want to share a stage with Tom Brady and have Brady take all the, the recognition away from him. And of course, that is people just sort of making their own opinions about the situation. But Rodgers is saying that that is ridiculous. The idea that that is going to sway his decision in any way is crazy. So it doesn't seem like Brady's decision to retire is really affecting Rodgers. And I think that when you look at the fact that Rodgers has mentioned in the past that when he takes the time in the offseason to decide what he wants to do, it really comes down to figuring out if he thinks if he really has that desire to go through an entire process of a season, through the offseason workouts, through training camp, through all those practices, to fight through the injuries, all those things. And so it sounds to me like that's sort of what he's thinking on. Does he want to go through that once again? Is that what he really does he feel, up for it once again? And it seems to be that does not sway his decision. At least that's what Rodgers said. And then here we have Rodgers said he has an opportunity to do a little self-reflection and some isolation. And after that, I feel like I'll be a little closer to that final decision. And here is, I'd say, the thing that's probably going to get talked about the most after this discussion with Pat McAfee is the isolation retreat that Rodgers is going on. Here we have from Demovsky, Rodgers said he has not even decided yet whether he's going to play in 2023, so still making his decision, hasn't decided yet. That's why I think it's going to be important to get through this week and take my isolation retreat and contemplate all things my future. He called it a darkness retreat for 4 nights alone. So I think in the next couple weeks at some point, he's doing this isolation retreat, which I have never heard of this. Maybe you have, I have not, where he's going to spend 4 nights alone in some kind of, I don't know if it's like a room, and apparently they drop food in for him, I believe, completely dark, 4 straight days, has nothing in there with him. He says that he's able to walk out if he wants at any time, but the point is to be there for 4 nights alone with your thoughts. He said that hallucinations sometimes take place in this scenario. And so it seems like he's going to have 4 straight days to contemplate his future. And maybe in this isolation retreat, it could be a time when he has, how many hours is that? Like 96 hours, something like that. When he has 4 straight days to just be with his thoughts, you would think that he would sort of come out of there with some kind of clarity about his future in the NFL. And so with that taking place sometime soon, it sounds like his decision could be not too far away in the future. And so we'll have to wait and see there. Where will this darkness retreat lead Rodgers? Who knows? It's going to be an interesting next few weeks, next couple months as we await the decision because it affects so many different aspects of the NFL. Of course, the Packers. It affects Jordan Love. Is he going to finally start? Is he going to have to sit again? Which team, if Rodgers decides that he wants to return, but the Packers and him don't come to some kind of agreement, which team will want to trade for Rodgers? That'll shift that franchise. So many different things hinging on this one decision. And so, as speculation has gone on for the past few weeks, it's going to continue until Rodgers makes his official decision, which we will find out eventually when it does happen. But that is all of the biggest updates from that Pat McAfee Show interview with Rodgers. Feel free to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all Packers news, Packers updates. That's what this channel is for. And if you would like to read my newsletters, I put out maybe one every 5 days a week throughout the week on the Packers. Feel free to subscribe to that. You can click the link down below. I actually put out an article earlier this morning, or newsletter, whatever you want to call it, on Jordan Love and sort of my thoughts on him and what he could be thinking right now. So feel free to read that if you would like. But that is all for this video. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys next time.